So, in the last class, we had discussed about the basics, and today we will discuss about the users in the service now. So, if you develop any application or if you develop any product, or if you are providing service anything, someone has to utilize it. For example, if you develop a product, someone has to utilize it. Then only you will get the revenue for it. Or if you develop a product, for example, if you see Flipkart, someone has to log into Flipkart, he has to order it. Then only the Flipkart will be the useful. Like that, in the ServiceNow also, someone has to use it. If you someone has to use it, then only we will get the about the one. So if you take the one, so users. So in the ServiceNow, there are three type of users. There are three type of users. So the first one is end users. Second one is fulfillers. Third one, admins. Admins are developers, implementers. So end users is nothing but who will utilize all application and rise requests or incidents, problems, etc. So which means so incident problem. So fulfillers is nothing but so for example, if you see a simple example of Flipkart. So in the Flipkart, what we will do the shopping in the Flipkart. If you do the shopping in the Flipkart, so if you do the shopping in the Flipkart, what it will do is if you do in the shopping in the Flipkart, so what we know it, if you ordered a Flipkart in something, we will receive the product at home. That is the only one we know. So or else if you know, if you see, so the we know that means we are the end users of the Flipkart and we will use the Flipkart application, we will do the shopping. Now the next one is fulfillers. Fulfillers is nothing but what are the we have required. For example, if you ordered something, backend will be done. That means if they has to pack the device, they needs to transport the device from that location to the vendor nearest location. And from that location, the delivery agent has to pick it and they has to do it. So that means who will work on those requests? That means backend something will have request or incidents or problems like and and so on. So whoever work on these request problems or incidents, those are all will called as a fulfillers. Now next one is admins. Admins, developers or implementers. These are the key users. Key users will grant the admins what will do. Admins will grant the access to the users and groups. So developer will add new functionality to the existing modules. So that means the developer will add a new small functionalities to the one, whereas the implementers will implement the new will implement the new module. Like that means this see in previous days in the Flipkart we don't have any book a flight, grocery, and all other stuff. So those are all new things which was implemented by the implementers, and developers will develop the if a new model is added. For that, what these developers will do, these developers will add a new functionality to the same thing. So that is the one, and admins will grant the one. These are the three type of users, and this one. And in the service now, so what we will do is the users. What are the users we are creating? Those users will be the what are the users in the service now? For the users one, we will integrate with the active directory. Active directory in the sense whatever the active directory is nothing but which is a local database. So it will contains all the users in that one. From that to the data will come. The employees of the company will be integrated with the this active directory. That means every day some users will log in, some users will left the company, some new employees will be joining. Those information will be comes to the here. That's all. So here in the real time, so that we will show how to create a user, so and how to you can see the all the other stuff. So if you come to the users, so in the service now, if you want to do anything we can configure from this left navigation. If you click here, so these are all the users data. Since it is a demo instance, we have all the demo instance data. This one. Now if I am going to create a new user, click on new. So this is the user. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to here the user ID is nothing but the login ID. That means what was the ID we will use for the login. So I'm just making test user. First name, last name. So first name, last name, we will give it as per the our requirement. That means the user first name, last name, and title is nothing but what was the title of the user. I'm just giving as IT technician and department. If any employee is joining, what was the department belongs to? He was like a customer support or developer or a new the finance, HR. All we can. I'm just giving as IT. IT, and here password need to reset logged out 3 active 3. So if you, the user want to log in, always this active is true. So I will show with an example these three options. Just wait for some more time. Web services access, you want to perform some web services, we can do this. Two options will be used for the integration. This I can cover when the topic is come. And next one, what was the email of the user, we can give it. And what was the language? Right now we have given only one language, which is English. And also Outlook. So what is the calendar integration? So we have to do this also, no need. So time zone, what was the time zone? Because the whatever the system, the default time zone will comes to the user, but the user might be in the different time zone. So what we will do is we will give the same thing for the here. So which means if you want to work, we can give any different time zone. No, I will just for time being what I am giving this to the Eastern time zone. Next one, if you want to add any photo here, but no need here. If you want, we can add a photo here, or if you want to, what was the date format? I'm just giving date format as this is the one. Business phone number, mobile phone number we have given. So now, What happened? We have successfully created the user, but we didn't set up the password. If you want to set up the password, we can use the here option set password. The set password you can copy. So from here, this option, the set password is coming from the version San Diego. Prior to it, we can give any password manually. So here you can give here, click on generate. So the password has generated, and copy it and save the password. Now you can see whenever the password is set, this password need to reset. Password need to reset is nothing but the user will be prompted to change the password at next login. That means whenever if you see some banking applications, so let me show with an example. So DV, okay, I'm just 145957. Okay, I'm just opening a incognito window. Incognito window will okay as a new one four. So this is the one. I'm just logging as a test. The password. I'm just entering the password. The password we have given, and I'm saving. When I try to log in, the system administrator requires you change your password. Why? Because here we have an option password needs reset. So that we can cover you. The next one, paste it, and you can change any password. I'm just making train at the rate 123. Train at the rate 123, and we are going to submit it. So now what happened? We are whenever we are going to change the password, and we are able to log in here. If the user has changed the password, then what it happens? Then automatically this password need to reset true becomes the false. See, this password need to reset become the false. So this is the advantage of the password. That means whenever if you save the password need to reset as a true, the next time whenever the login user is logging, he has to change the password. Until he has to change the password, the system will not allow the user to log into the system. This is the advantage of the one. So even if you see we are seeing some banking application like the net banking. So first time we will see some default password something. Later what happened, we will do the different scenario for the same thing. So this is the basic thing about the user. The next step, see, whenever if I log in, I'm just opening the incognito window. If I am login, see, I have seen very few things. See, self service, context text money, user tracking, around of 1 2 3 4 5 6 modules we have there. If you have from the admin profile, see how many we have. We have a plenty of things. That means admin has the full access to the user for the same thing. Now what it will do is it will do the same thing for it. Now whatever this one, now one more thing, I'm just going to create an incident just for to understand the how it will works. So if we're going to submit this incident, what happened? Okay, I think some transaction error. So we have successfully created, and here see what was the time it was showing, 9:52:05 p.m., which means which is in the EST time. Since it is in the EST time zone, it was showing the EST time zone. And if I open the same incident from our end, let's check it. See, it is showing the 25205. Why? Because see, it is showing as the 24th January. But if I see this date, it is showing as the 23rd January. Why? Because the test user is in the EST time zone, and the instance that in the logged user who is a system administrator is in the GMT time zone. So depending upon the time zone, it will be reflect to the same to the user. So or else this is the one. And if I change this the this what you called the system administrator time zone to different one, let's see what it happens. So if I'm going to change this to PST and I am updating. See, if it is a PST, still the time is 6:52 p.m. Like that, depending upon the logged user, so we can see the different things for it. This is the basic thing. And one more thing, and also I'm just going to logging out. I will show you with another example here. So here this is fine. Now if I'm going to the users, so, and also in the service now, what are the modules are you nowadays frequently? You can make a favorite so that you no need to type here. So you can make a favorite. You can go to the users here. You will find the star icon. So from here, you just click on add users to favorites. If you click here, so it will become here the favorites. So what we are going to do is I'm just doing, so it will go to the one. So whenever next time login, you just click on there, we can do the same thing. So this is the test user. So for the test user, what happened now, I am just making logged out is true and active true, and I am saving this one. Logged out is true on this one. Now what I am going to do is test, and I am just going to entering the, I'm sorry. So I'm just, see, we have entered a correct password, but still the user is not allowed. So if you want to, we can show it. I'm just moving the logged out is true and save, and go to the incognito mode, test, and I'm pasting the same password and able to success. I think it has some login issue. Okay, that's okay. We'll set up the password again, generate and save password. Okay, so it has become. I think we have entered the. We have not copied the password. Oh my god. Save password. So it is asking to change the password, and also I'm just giving the password is this one, train at the rate 123. Now for that password, we are able to successfully log into the system. Now what I am going to do is here again, I'm just going to marking the logged out is true. So now I'm just going to logged out. See, since the system is logged out, it will not allow the user to log into the system. If you make a logged out is false, and I am just going to save this one, it will not, it will allow the user to log in. Just check it, try and test. So this is the one. Like that it will do. So if you logged out is, if you logged out, this one. And next one, if you make a active is false and try to save the record, then what happened, it will not allow the user to log into the system. That means if you give the logged out, so what it will happen is that means the logged out is true, sorry, active is false, and if we save the record, automatically the logged out will become a false and we will see it now. So I'm just going to check with the same user test, and if I am click on here, so it will not allow the user to log into the system, as it was a different scenario for the same here. So if you see here, whatever we are seeing here, it will be the same. So if you user want to log in, so always the active should be true and logged out is false, and password need to reset is also false, so that user is will not get any pop-up or something, easily log into the one. Now if I am going to the password need to reset is false, logged out is false, and save the record, and here you can see it, test, copy and paste it. Now the user is successfully logging to the system. So this is the basic fundamental of the user profile. And now the next step here is so now I'm just going to log out. So now I'm just going to log out. Here in the user, here we have an option called roles. Roles is nothing but depending upon the user accessibility, we will grant the roles to the user, which means here whoever, whether if he a developer or if he a ITL user or if it is a fulfiller or if he is an end user, whoever it may be, depending upon the user possibility, we will grant the roles to the user. So if you want to, I'm just going to clicking on edit. This is called oh sorry. So let me go back one step. So here you can see entitled custom tables, roles, groups, delegates, subscription. Whatever we are seeing, these are all called as a role related list. In that related list, go to the roles, just click on edit. Click on edit. Whatever we are seeing, this one here, this we will call it as a slash bucket. Slash bucket is nothing but slash bucket is nothing but this is the slash bucket where we can configure the where we can add our role. So right now I'm just granting the ITIL role to the user. ITIL. I will tell you this all user scenario later. So at time being I'm just granting the ITIL role to the user, and now the next step here it is we have granted ITL role, and there are few other roles for added. That's a different scenario. That's the next cover class I can cover you. Now I'm just asking the user to log in and paste it and log in. So this is the thing where we can cover the all the stuff, all favorites. So if you see here, go to here, there is a few other modules we added. So if your ITL, since ITL we have added, this interaction was added, service desk and incident problem change, CMD workspace configuration, passwords. These are the few other application menu was added since we have granted the admin roles to the user. Like that, whatever the word. For example, if I am giving the if I remove the role to the user, let's see what it happens. So whatever we are seeing, this is we call as a slush bucket. Try to remember the terminology so that you will get a easily for it. Now I'm just going to log out from here, log out, and again here we can the username is test and paste it. See, I think it was still sometimes what happened. It was in the cookies, so that it will still the incident problem will be the shown to user. There is some cookies issue in the service now, so that it will, but it will allow the user to, it will show the modules, but it will not show any record data in the system. So now what I am going to do is I'm just going to log out again. Now if I grant the role, DIL, see if I open this one, the data will be open here since we have given the problem one. But if you remove that role from that user, and what we can say, so earlier it was showing this model should not show it, but there are some cookies issue from the San Diego version service now, it will be visible. But if I open this one, since the user doesn't have the role, so the data will not show to the user. So this is the basic thing about the how we can assign a role to the user. Now, so roles, adding a roles and creating a roles, that's a different concept we can cover in the next classes. So no need to worry. And next step here, so here we have an option here. For example, if you are a manager, so you are going to leave for a 10 or 2 weeks, something for example. So in the 2 weeks, and if your manager is not available, some applications or some request or some access request or some any other request has to approve it. That means some applications has to approve it, then only it will be the, that means the work will not be. If the manager is not available, who has to do again? The assistant manager or a team lead or some xyz person has to approve it, which means if the manager is not available, so but the work should not stop, right, whatever we are doing. So assistant manager or operational manager or for the tech lead or some team lead or whoever it may the next prior to him, so it has to approve it. So if it's a mail system, we can approve it a mail manually, or if it is some paperwork, we can sign the paper or something, it will do the manually. Now whatever we are doing for this one here, so here, but since if that user is not if we are not doing any manual work, so for that what we have done in the service now, we have an option called delegate. Delegate is nothing but, so on behalf of the user we are assigning the permissions or something to the user, that we will call it as a delegate. That means they are representing someone. If you see, sometimes we are hearing the in the news or something, foreign delegates. Foreign delegates is nothing but those are the foreign delegates who are representing the India, their foreign country. We will call it as delegate. That means on behalf of the country people, they are representing them. Like that, in the service now also we have an option called delegate. This delegate will do the whatever it should. Let's see. In the related list, click on that new. So test user, and this is the test user. So that means for to whom we need to mark as a delegate user. So this is the test user, and the next step is to which user has to mark as a same thing here. That means from which user to which user we need to. I'm just going to create using as a this one Roy stroke. So this test user will be acting as for this test user. We are marking what we call we are marking as the delegate rocks one. Now, what is the start date? This is the start date, and from which we need to end it. So this is the one by default it was come as a different. So going to today, I'm just marking as a 25th. That means 23rd Jan 2023 7:8:24 p.m. to 25th Jan 3:59 p.m. So that it will be, so that these delegates will be done. So from the delegates, whatever we need to assign it, it has to go to the approvals. That means whatever the approvals we are triggering to this test user, it will automatically trigger to the rise rock. And assignments, that means what are the task is assigned to him automatically, these are all will be assigned to the this user. And next one, all notifications. So what are the notifications is sending to that user, test user, that will go the ray stroke. And what are the meeting invitations from the service now, these are all approvals, assignments and notifications. And this meeting invites, whatever it may be having the one, those are all will be coming from the meeting to the what you can say. So from the service now triggering, it will be automatically triggered to the this one. So this is the basic scenario for the here. So like that we can configure a delegate for the user if anyone using going to manager or going to leave or something. So that means, for example, simple scenario, a user, if the manager is on leave, the work should not stop. That means we cannot depend upon any work. So what will happen? We have to configure the delegate. So on behalf of him, someone has to approve it. This is the basic thing. This is the how we can create a user, how we can use the password need to reset and active true or false, and logged out true or false option will be the same thing for it, all the same. This is the basic scenario of the same thing here. This is the basic scenario will be the same thing here. So this is how we are working. We have seen, and how we can assign a role. We have seen it, and how we can this what you call delegate. We have seen it. The in general in the real time, the common issues are common. Uh, what you called common issues will come. Mostly, the user profile is blocked out sometimes. So at the time we need to enable the logged out as a false and save that record. Then only the user will log into the one, or the user will ask for a few mirror accounts. So that means if you give, so if a new employee join a company, and if a new employee joined a new to the group team, so the team lead will raise a request showing that the XYZ user has to mirror with the ABC account. That means what are the ABC user has the roles, permissions, groups. We should always mark to the XYZ user. That is a basic thing we can configure for the same thing here. So, and also the delegates, they will ask us to configure the delegate users for the same thing for it. That is a basic scenarios or basic real-time work. It will come as a whenever if you're working in a project or something. But this completely user profile is a completely administration task. So I don't think we will not expect a many tasks for this on the user profile. Mostly you will get maximum of one or three to four per a week max. So you will not get any more thing for this. This is about the users creation in the service now, how this user functionality will work in the service now, the major activities. Till now what we have discussed, anyone has any questions, so we can discuss it now. I hope you can hear, right? Hello, can you hear me? So anyone has any questions, I hope you understand. As you can say yes or no, guys, whether you have understand, as say yes. If not understand, say no. If that is not done, okay, very good. Okay, that's fine. Now, the next step is here. This is the basic scenario. Kindly note down. I'm sorry, guys. Please go for a mute. Somebody getting background noise. Now, kindly please note down the task for today. The task is what we have to do. Create a five users in the ServiceNow system, and for each and every user, check password needs to reset as a true and save it. Try to log in. What it happens, or and after that, password need to reset true as a false and save that record. Later, you just make as a logged out is true and save that record. Then what it happens, and next one, you can mark it as a logged out as a false and active is true, active is false, and save that record. And let's see then what it will happen is, that means password need to reset true and logged out true or false and active true or false. Check these three scenarios and check what it will happen is. That's the first step. And next one is, once you have checked this all the scenario, next one, come to this related list. In the role, go to the edit and add the ITIL role, and after that log out from the user, that is a test user, and relog in again and check what are the modules in the sense, these are we called as a modules. Whatever you are seeing, these are all called as a module, and check what are the modules has come, what are the data they are showing to visibility. That's a one task. And second one, just try to add a delegate to the user, to the one user with the different one like assignments, approvals for that one, and check it. This is the task for today's class. Anyone has any questions about the today's class, so that I can explain again if you want? Okay, okay, that's fine. Please go for a mute. I'm getting some background noise. Okay. So delegate is nothing but a simple. If you are a manager, you are going to leave. So the manager has some authorities. If something is application access, something is, they can approve it. If the manager approve it, then automatically the application access, they can grant the access. But if the manager is on leave, if he went for a vacation or something, 10 days if he not come, we cannot stop the application access or work. So if the manager is not available, so we can grant to the, we can the team lead can approve it instead of him. But if it is a mail, he can drop a email saying that since the manager is not available, I'm approving this request or something. You guys, if the mail. But in the system, it will not accept, right? We have to inform the system. So this manager is not available from this particular date to this particular date here. This person user is not available from this particular date to this particular date, so that what is approvals is went for this particular user, approvals, assignments, all notifications are this one, will be automatically sent to this user. That means we are transferring the privileges to the another user is a temporary basis, it's not a permanent basis, as the user is not available for a different reason. That's the thing. I hope you got it, or any confusion. You got it right? Fine. Anyone has any questions related to today's topic or today's task? Okay, so I'm treating as you guys as understand. If anyone has any questions, so that we can discuss before we wind up, or tomorrow roles and group content, the continuation topics we can cover it. Okay. Okay. Anyone has any questions? So if no other questions, we can wind up the session. And thank you so much, guys. Hopefully we'll meet at tomorrow at same time. Thank you all. Bye.